Hi, I'm Zach. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I've dedicated my life to creating vegan music. 7 years ago, I became vegan overnight after initially learning what a vegan was through the TED Talk, a video called Esther the Wonder Pig. R.I.P. Esther. And after watching that video, I went down a rabbit hole and I was very skeptical at first, and I learned about all of the industries and I learned what a vegan was, and I had an emotional reaction from the abuse and the horrible things that animals go through that changed the way I thought about animals, as seeing them as something I saw. I mean, there was cognitive dissonance because I already saw animals as someone, but I didn't see my hypocrisy until I learned what a vegan was and eating them and using them. And that night I saw it very, very clearly, and I was put to tears, and then I decided to go vegan overnight. And in that point in my life, I I was working very hard on doing music for a living. My dream for music started out as creating music that inspires peace, world peace. I was I was very ambitious. I was thinking I will work towards like a Woodstock, like a modern Woodstock that actually does something amazing with community, and so I've always been attracted to the idea of putting some type of message or some type of mission with the music, because even before I was vegan, I saw the value in music and its influence and how it can inspire people and how it gathers people together and builds communities. And I knew that that was the best path to help create world peace. And so I knew I was very ambitious, but I went headfirst into that path of creating music with that purpose of inspiring people to live more fulfilled and compassionate lives. And then I became a vegan. And then for a year or so, I was still creating music, obviously, and I was becoming more and more passionate about veganism. And I was working for the university at this point, or a university, all-you-can-eat dining hall, and I was working on the grill station, like serving dead cows and chickens. And it was at this point I was in a transitional period in my life, and then came up with Z-Man the Vegan, which was a clear way for me to continue to create music that has a message and helps the world, but also spread veganism and have an outlet for my passion for veganism and music at the same time. And as soon as I created this character, I took everything to the next level. It was as far as like my vegan activism and music, and it was very intense and even more fulfilling and enjoyable too. And so I would not only just play music, but I would also stand outside this dining hall with a sign that says things like, "Being vegan is a moral obligation, change my mind." And then I would have respectable conversations with people, or not all of them were respectable, but I would stay respectable and have conversations with people. So I got experience doing vegan activism through like street conversation, but also every single possibility for a conversation that I could have while working or street performing, or just um, I'd I would make sure I'd used every possibility. And so I'd be talking to people about veganism while we're serving burgers together. I'd be talking to my coworkers, and so I got experience of what it was like talking to people. But then also, like, I would change into the superhero costume, go outside and sing about veganism, and sing music. And I found that music and that character was a great way to get attention, but also get attention in a way to where the foundation and tone of the conversation is a lot more respectable and opening, or people are more likely to actually conduct conversation when if I'm playing music and then they walk up and we talk about veganism, compared to if I'm holding a sign that says veganism is a moral obligation, change my mind. People get more defensive when it's direct like that. But I think being direct like that is actually far more effective on except for the long-term goal of using music to really bring awareness, and using music and being direct with music, I think, will be very effective. But what I'm saying is, me standing out there in a superhero costume singing vegan songs has inspired some people to go vegan, and I've had people send me messages and through conversation, and it's been inviting. It invites people. They're like, oh, what's going on? And then it's a possibility to bring up veganism, compared to holding a sign that says veganism is a moral obligation, or just street conversations and showing footage of the animals. That's effective, but they both work well better on other people in certain situations. And playing music, I found it gets a broader amount of people in to talk about it. But directly talking about it, like street conversation and showing footage, usually gets more people to change, because it like directly brings it up. So I found, as I was writing more vegan music and playing it, it was reaching people, and this character was reaching people. And although a lot more people were talking about veganism, and I brought a lot of awareness about it to the school and to Columbia, Missouri, a lot of those people just weren't going to change, and just singing and talking about it isn't necessarily enough. And that's why I think both things paired together would be great. Music, activism, but then also just like the traditional street activism, like with conversations and footage. But it was this time in my life that I found and decided to fully go headfirst into doing musical activism and just get better at that. And my long-term goal and intention and focus is to do that for 10, 20, 30, all the years of my life that I can. And with the success that comes from building a brand of music that can reach a broader audience than like vegan activists, I believe that's the best route to go. And so I've dedicated my life to creating music that I know in the long run it can have a very, very big impact. And I know, so in the long run, it can have a very, very big impact and also it's what I love to do. So being able to do it for years and years and years is going to be easier and run smoother, because I love the process of performing and writing, and I'm passionate about veganism. And so, not that me standing out there every single day doing the traditional vegan activism would be any worse. It would just be harder to put as many hours in, because whenever you're doing something you love, it's easier for you to put the hours in. So I've decided to use what I love to do as a tool to help the world and help the animals and help the vegan people, inspire them and motivate them. And yeah, so why do I crave vegan music? Because I learned what the animals go through, and then what I thought about animals changed, and I didn't see them as something. I saw them as someone, and I saw a world that still sees animals as something. And music is my passion and my greatest weapon against the ignorance in the world, but also greatest remedy and motivational tool and greatest way to type up the vegan movement. And I believe it's me using my strengths and my passion to help inspire a more compassionate and fulfilled world, or fulfilled people inside the world. And so that's why I sing vegan music for the animals. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below. Do you sing vegan music? Do you listen to vegan music? Or what do you love to do? What's your passion? And yeah, have you ever watched Esther the Wonder Pig? Thank you. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below. Become a patron if you want to help me reach the goal of making $1,000 before January 27th, or I go back to a day job. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. For the animals! Woo!